All right, this is Sports for Real. I just want to come on live YouTube style. I just got off Zoom where I was telling a story about Simone Biles' mother's. I put mother in parentheses because the mother image that we see on TV, that's not really her mother, that's her grandmother or step grandmother, if you will. She's the one that raised them. Pretty much, rescued the girl and her sister and put them on the right track. And if that had not happened, we probably wouldn't know Simone Biles today as the world's greatest gymnast, as a lot of people want to give her that title. But it's just not Biles. It's a lot of people. There's a lot of talent out there in the world. And sometimes you have to be in the right position to get your talent out there. If you got a lot of problems where you have to deal with as opposed to playing sport, you don't have time to go concentrate on that sport. So for all the great athletes that you see on TV making money and going to the professionals, there's a whole bunch of guys walking around on the streets that can play just as well as they can who didn't have the same breaks. Sometimes in life you get lucky, and Simone Biles got lucky in the fact that she landed in the right spot that elevated her to the position she's in today. And I was just making the point on that particular Zoom that that is a private affair between her and her family. So her and a relationship with her mother and what's to come to the future, I think that ought to be left to them. But that's why having media outlets like this YouTube and any other thing is a great balancer for what you see in the mainstream media. Because all they're trying to do, they're just trying to, show an angle or present an angle to the world that they want out there, and it may not be the case. And that's basically what a real mother was saying. They come to me. I didn't go to the media, but they're painting the story like she's trying to come out of the shadows all these years later now to reap the benefits of her daughter because she's not doing so well. But she knows why she's not doing well, and she knows there are consequences to what she did as a younger person. She hadn't disputed any of that. But at the same time, she is saying that from a mother's standpoint, she does want to have some connection with her kids. But again, only they know what happened in that family, and that's between them. And I think that the media shouldn't try to benefit from that situation. I'm only speaking on it because people have been running this lady all over the place like she's got her hands out trying to get something and hadn't put anything in there. And for what I understand, that is not the case at all. So hopefully that works out for them. Then I went to talk about the Jordan Child situation. If you're not familiar with the Jordan Child situation, Jordan Childs took bronze in the floor exercise behind Simone Biles and Andrade, as they pronounce it over there in Brazil, in the floor exercises in Paris. Childs originally was scheduled to finish fifth, but a scoring area from an appeal by the U.S. showed that she should have been scored higher, and it allowed her to get that bronze medal. Well, the Romanians appeal, and they're saying that they didn't get the appeal in on time. So the IOC agreed with Romania. So now Jordan Childs is going to get stripped of that bronze medal. But now the United States has appealed that because they said they got their appeal in on time, and it has shown that they got it in within 13 seconds of the 1 minute time limit. So that was good. And then the person that's making the ruling, he has worked for the Romanian government for 10 years. Now, here's the thing. How you doing, Saul Serrano? Here's the deal. The United States has pretty much, in the last 40 years, starting with Mary Lou Retton in 1984 in the Olympics in LA, she had Bela Karolyi as a coach. He's from the Romanian area. And Romania and those Eastern Bloc countries dominated the Olympics up until that point. So since the 1984 Olympics, these 40 years, America has pretty much dominated. And because of that, you have to know that there's some jealousy in those Eastern Bloc countries about the success of the Americans. So if you got a judge that has Romanian ties and has a chance to kick one of the Americans off the pedestal, he's going to do it. And that appears to be the case. But now the United States again has appealed that ruling because they said that we have evidence to prove that we did everything we were supposed to do within the rules, but yet you still rule against us. The IOC said the ruling is final. So it looks like Childs is going to get stripped of that medal, even though she's within the rights of keeping it. But whatever happens, I think Childs has handled this in a professional manner. And because of that, I think the United States, whatever awards come with that bronze medal, she should be allowed to keep that. And I know you get like $37,500 for a gold medal. I don't know what a bronze is worth, probably at least $10,000. But still, that's better than nothing if they're going to strip her of this medal. So I hope that works out. But I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what I just said about Noah Lyles. You know, he won 100 meters, and a lot of people think that was controversial. They don't think he really won that, especially the Jamaicans. They don't ever feel like the Americans should win. But according to the photo finish, it's the torso. It's not any other body part that comes across. The torso that comes across is the one that determines the winner. Now, I'll get into that later. After winning 100, which is something he's just trying, his signature event is a 200. What he was trying to do was be the 1-200 double winner, like Usain Bolt has done it a couple times, and Carl Lewis was the other guy that's done it. He's trying to be the third guy to do that. And it was almost considered a foregone conclusion because Lyles has been dominating the 200. Well, lo and behold, he comes out and he ends up with the bronze medal. According to the photo, Kenny Bednarek got second place over Lyles. But that's where things get interesting. Lyles, he goes, at the end of the track and he's pretty much on his knees and he didn't look good. Then as he tries to exit the stadium, he falls all down. Now he's getting medical attention. And then they end up putting him in a wheelchair and wheeling him off the track. So to some people, it didn't look authentic. Then we get reports from Mike Tirico that Lyles had tested for COVID 2 days earlier. Now he's going around shaking hands with athletes, being around them, competing and everything else, and he's supposed to have COVID. Okay. Now, where I get a problem is, Lyles is all animated. He jumps up and down and screaming and yelling, and he did the same thing that he always does. But he ended up getting third. He didn't win. But now you got to go to the hospital and everything else and get checked out. And it looks like, you putting on a show because you got the bronze medal. Mike Tirico put the idea out there about, the reason why he lost might have been because he had this COVID. Well, to Noah Lyles' credit, he never said anything about losing the race had anything to do with COVID. He didn't say anything about getting beat, but he didn't use an excuse either. But a lot of people look at that like, yeah, he's using that as an excuse, and he completed the act by having himself wheeled out of the stadium. Well, Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins, he was watching that race, and he was one of the ones who felt like Lyles was putting on a show. So he made a comment about it. Well, it got back to Lyles, and he didn't really pay it any mind. But then reporters started digging into the story, and Tyreek Hill pretty much said, well, you got beat, but you acting like you got COVID, like it's a reason why you got beat. So the guy asked him, well, could you race Lyles? He said, yeah, I'll race Lyles and I'll beat him. I will beat Noah Lyles. Now, he didn't say what event, but he did say he would beat him, not by much, but he would beat him. He guaranteed. Now, if you look at that thumbnail I put on there, that is a high school time from Tyreek Hill, which is 20.14, which is blazingly fast, even for high school. I mean, when I was in high school, a long time ago, my school record was 21 flat, and it's still 21 flat. And I looked at that as something to look up to. Now, I didn't get anywhere close to 21 flat, but if I could have got a 21 flat, hey, I got something to tell my grandkids. But This guy Tyreek Hill, years after me, he ran this 20.14, one of the fastest in the nation, right? Well, training techniques nowadays and racing surfaces are a whole lot better than what they were when I was there. Now, since Tyreek Hill has gotten out, they've even improved that. Well, the thing about it is, he still has that speed, but I think at 20.14 in high school, he's been out, 10 years now? I don't think he's going to be able to get much faster than a 20.14. So I can see Tyreek Hill, even if he trained for the 200, I see him getting at best 19.8. Though Lyles running 19.3s and 4s. So I don't see how Tyreek Hill is going to be able to beat Noah Lyles in the 200. What I will say this though, they could race a catch race like if you remember the guy from Canada was going at it with Michael Johnson. I think it was Bailey, Donovan Bailey, I think his name was, and Michael Johnson, and they actually raced at 150. You got a 100 guy and a 2 to 400 guy. 150 was a great catch race, and Johnson raced him, and Bailey beat him. Well, we find out later that Bailey, he's heavy accusations of doping. We never had those accusations from Michael Johnson, but they actually raced. You call me out, let's go get it. And I think that Lyles and Tyreek Hill, a good catch race would be right around 150. 100, I think Hill maybe will do 100, but I think since both of them are strong at the 200, I think 150 will probably be the better race. But in any rate, I don't see Tyreek Hill, as fast as he is, being able to beat a professional sprinter, just like you couldn't expect Lyles to go in and be a professional football player. Another example of that, a lot of guys see boxing on TV and they think, well, I can do that. Well, a lot of times, if you look over the history, there's been boxers who had problems at clubs. They can't really go out because some guys are always trying to be brave and show out for his buddies or show out for some girl, and they try to take on the boxing and get knocked out. It won't take long because while you think you big and bad, you in close quarters, that's what these boxers do on a daily basis. So it's no problem slipping you and peppering you up 5 or 6 times, and then you drop your hand a little bit, they're going to put about 5 or 6 more on there. So in the space of about 10 seconds, you're going to be laid out. And now you want to talk about suing when you're the one that instigated, but I don't see how you can be a victim when you're the one instigated the confrontation. So I think it's the same kind of thing when you talk about Tyreek Hill stepping on the track to race against a professional sprinter. It's just not going to work. But it makes good headlines and something for us to talk about. All right. Gum construction surgery. I pray to God you will make it speedy recover. Okay. You had your 10 seconds of fame, whatever that means. But anyway, I think that it would be a good race if those two guys were to step on the track. And I just don't think that professional track guy has much to worry about from a professional football player getting beat. I know you get the spotlight and all. It's kind of like those NBA players thinking that, they run and jump all the time and they can go out there and play football. Maybe 1 or 2 of them can, but I guarantee you that most of them cannot. So I just want to come on and tell you that I just posted a video about Simone Biles, Jordan Childs, and this situation between Tyreek Hill and Noah Lyles. A lot of times those Zooms, they don't go out live like they're supposed to. So to back it up, I just want to come on and say a few words about what I just said on the other video. So, also, NFL season's just a couple weeks away. They have their second preseason game tonight. The Jaguars are hosting the Buccaneers. And this is the second home game for them. They'll go on the road next week. And after that, there's a small break. And then on September 8th, I believe it is, the real season starts. The first home game for the Jaguars is the 15th. Not a Jaguar fans, I'm just in the area, but I will tell you this. I got a new venture that's going to be taking place when the Jaguars host their home games this year, and I hope you tune in for it. It's going to be on another platform in conjunction with mine, but you're going to start hearing more about Sports for Real on a much, much bigger platform. So until then, I'll get back at you when I find out some more good sports news to talk about. high school football taking place all around the nation. A lot of big games today. South Florida, you got St. Thomas Aquinas taking on Bishop Gorman out of Nevada. That should be a good one, and a lot of stuff to talk about. So have a great weekend. This is Sports for Real. I'm out.